In case you didn't know, this is Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, and he wants to change everything. Here's the fans of the MLB disappointed and cringing and trying not to flip out when they hear that Rob Manfred has made another proposal and/or rule change. Let's talk about the rule changes coming to baseball this season. In 2020, there will be some changes to the active roster, and this one I do like, as they talk about the roster increasing from 25 to 26 men. And I think this makes a lot of sense, and generally other fans do too. As a Yankee fan here in New York, I am used to the DH, and with the DH, there is a very limited bench with 25-man rosters, leaving 3 bench spots, unless you only carry 12 pitchers, but usually there is a 3-man bench, and one of those is always taken up by the backup catcher, so you really only have 2 spots available to you, which allows for only a backup infielder and a backup outfielder, or just having a guy who needs to be able to play every position, which just doesn't make much sense. So I am happy with this change. The September call-ups are also getting revamped, as all clubs will carry 28 players instead of the insane 40 men. The 40-man rosters were kind of a joke. September is a very important time for teams who are on the cusp of making the playoffs. So why should a team like the Orioles be able to put their AAA team out there and become the deciding factor on whether a team like the White Sox make the playoffs? So, in that way, I feel this is a very good change. Then it talks about how many pitchers a team is allowed, which is interesting, but I don't think it changes much. They announced the limit will be 13 pitchers on a roster, which was usually the amount carried before the limit was made for this year. Two-way players in that whole thing does not change much, with it being really rare, and position players pitching also being really rare. The 3-batter minimum rule. This is where things get a little ridiculous. The rule is pretty self-explanatory in the name. A pitcher has to face a minimum of 3 batters unless that pitcher ends the inning or of course gets injured. But he will likely have to sit out the next game, so faking an injury is no bueno. This rule eliminates lefty specialists who come in and face one lefty batter and then are taken out. Of course, this rule creates a lot of bad situations. Just a normal game, lefty is in to face Gregorius. Lefty can't come out for righty McCutchen. McCutchen hits a bomb because he is good against lefties. Now let's amp this up a little bit. NL wildcard game, 2 outs, and for the purposes of this video, I am using the Phillies. Lefty is in to face Gregorius, and is wild, a 4-pitch walk. Wild lefty has to stay in and face Realmuto. Walk. Then up comes McCutchen, who is great against lefties, and it's a 3-run dinger. And this rule has just changed the outcome heavily of a big game. You got Girardi saying, well, that just happened, and say the Mets are the team who let up the dinger. You got Rojas saying, well, that was quick. Yeah, almost as quick as Beltran's job as the manager of the Mets. Fans have given this rule a big thumbs down, and so do I. And the sad thing is, everyone and their mother knew in this scenario that this pitcher didn't have it. So why can't they take him out? Just to save 4 minutes every other game? Actually, not making that pitching change just made the game longer because there were 2 walks. What this rule does is create more offense, but cheap offense. When this scenario happens in a game, everyone will know that that home run happened because of this rule. And then you've pissed off the fans who really care about your game, the ones who watch it day in and day out. I could go on and on about this, but I think it's time to move on. There is a change to the injured list for pitchers, as the minimum time a pitcher can spend on the IL is now 15 days, meaning you won't have pitchers only missing 1 start because of an injury, as the starter could pitch on the 11th day after his injury. But with the new 15-day minimum, a starter will be forced to miss 2 starts as to avoid pitchers being sent to the IL too frequently, and having small things sending a guy to the IL, just to give them some rest. Also stopping teams from being able to bring up pitchers for a short amount of time, eliminating trying to cheat the system. I would say this is a very good rule. Also, there will be a reduction in time to decide if you are challenging a play or not, as the time limit has moved from 30 seconds to 20 seconds, which I don't really care about. It doesn't make that much of a difference. And also, if you haven't, you should go check out Trevor Bauer's rant on Rob Manfred, as he made a lot of good points and basically spoke for how the MLB fans in our community is feeling about this. Also, I might be making a video soon about some changes that I would do if I were the MLB commissioner, so stay posted. This was Stealing Strikes, where we got all things baseball. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.